Tandem Nomads, episode 27.
You even had to answer questions like that for how much money would you change? No, it's not about the money. Most of the people don't understand that it's not really about the money, or it's not only about the money. It's actually for the ride, for me as well, and for my husband too. It's a hell of a ride. Sometimes it's up and sometimes it's upper, but it's so colorful.
Welcome to Tandem Nomads, where inspiring expat partners from around the world share with you how they turn the challenges of relocation into great opportunities. So are you following your partner abroad for his or her career? Then Tandem Nomads is the place for you. Go to tandemnomads.com and sign up for the newsletter. Hello Nomad Nation. This is Emel Deregi, and today I'm very excited to introduce you our guest, Asetila Köstinger. Asetila, are you ready for the ride?
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah. Asetila comes from Albania and lives today in Turkey, Ankara. She was previously also living in Austria and Moldova. She has a master in international business and is completing her PhD in philosophy. Asetila is a trainer and an expert in international development. She has actually a consulting and training company, Köstinger Consultant, in export management, competitiveness, international marketing, and intercultural management. While relocating with her family, she took on various trainings and even worked for free to learn all about international development. And thanks to this experience, she also could add this extra value to her clients and bring them extra services in international development. So, Asetila, this was a very, very short overview of who you are. Can you tell us more about you and what's happening in your life today?
Yeah, as you said, I was born and raised in communist Albania. The country was very limited in international contact. Mm-hmm. I always wished and dreamed to live internationally since I was 10, I guess. Mm-hmm. So be careful what you wish for, my case. Today I'm married to a wonderful husband, and our sunshine Felix is 6, and we live in Ankara, Turkey since 2 years. A bit more than 2 years. Before we lived in Austria, and before that in Moldova, on the south, actually it's the south border to Ukraine. The first time I followed my husband only part-time in Moldova. There were a lot of projects going on in my life at that time. I was working, studying, and these other projects. But this time was different. Well, this time I decided to take the full assignment. One of the reasons, or maybe one of the biggest reasons, was our Felix. Felix at the time was 4 years old, and I said, Felix will only once be 4 years old. He will only once be 5 years old. He will only have one 6th birthday. First day of school will be only one. So if we stay in Austria and Daddy is in Turkey, it doesn't make so much sense. Mm-hmm. And I said, my family, the happiness of the family comes before any job. I mean, it's just a job. If I want one or I want another one, I'll find one. Good job at that time, and I had founded my consulting company, and I was building it up. Still working for this other company, but I was still building myself up and making more training and making more certifications in Austria. And so I was in a good path, but it was just a job. Then we decided to come to Ankara.
How did you meet with your husband?
Yeah, we worked in Albania together. I said I really wanted to work always internationally. I never wanted to leave Albania like that. No, it was never in the plan. I mean, it was like even for family reasons. My family, my parents and my grandparents and my grand-grandparents, they always married people from the same region. So it was like that.
Oh, I see. So what helped you change your mind?
My wonderful husband. It was really it was my movie.
Yeah, wonderful.
Now it's 13 years later, we are still in the same movie, and some beautiful movie.
This is nice. It's nice to hear that. Okay, so then you decided, because of Felix, you decided to go to Turkey. And what happened then? How did you transport your company, your activities? What happened with your professional life once you got there? Or even personal, because you must have had also to adapt a bit to the country, etc. Tell us, how were your first months there?
The beginning was not the traditional way. I mean, we came. I did all the relocation. I did the whole searching for the apartment. That's what we do actually always. I do that, and he does the work. I quit my job, and I was, because I did a training for from the Chamber of Commerce of Austria, and it was very intensive. So I was living between Austria and Turkey for the first 5 months till I finished this training. And Felix was being with me when I was here, and then if I was staying long in Austria, then in Austria. So we found a kindergarten here, and we moved from the other kindergarten. Even for Felix, it was easier, the change. It was not from day one to, tomorrow we move. So we used this 4 months. But then it was for the whole time. Then I was here the whole time, 100%. So, then as it started, it was great. The beginning, it looked strange. I even had this encounters with other... most of the time spouses of colleagues of my husband. This is how it started. But then as soon as your kid goes to kindergarten, then life becomes much better and much more colorful. It was the same in Austria, though. As soon as Felix went to kindergarten, then you have a lot of more friends, own friends. You don't hang anymore with your husband's friends. And I was lucky that most of friends, the parents of Felix friends, they are really very, very interesting people, full of ideas, full of energy. We shared, we chatted. This grew up slowly. Some of them left already. They're very nice, but they have a great other posting. Some of them are still here and will be sad when they leave next year, because it looks like we'll be the longest. In the meantime, Felix went to another school. He's not anymore in the preschool, in the kindergarten. So there you have other friends and parents of friends. Honestly, now I'm more busy with my things. So, and he's going to school till 4. So there is less time to have tea.
So what are you busy with?
I'm working now on a project in Tirana. Of course, I've left, but my heart still works for Tirana. I'm actually
Tirana is the capital of Albania, right?
I'm writing this project today and tomorrow because I have to meet some potential partners in Vienna on Thursday this week. Additionally, I'm doing my PhD in management. Actually, it's a doctor of philosophy in management. So I'm working on that. It's a full-time job there too. So I'm running a lot of full-time temporary jobs. Here I'm teaching in Ankara at the university. I teach last semester a couple of hours, and now I got a full semester to teach. It's not a typical traditional teaching, lecturing, but it's a project for students.
What are you teaching?
I'm teaching entrepreneurship, 1+, and the other one is project cycle management, logical framework approach. I like this. This is really very specific, and I like it.
Very interesting. So basically, let me try to summarize, Asetila. You are a mom, first of all, taking care of your family, also studying and working on your PhD, having your company as a consultant, consulting companies in international development, and teaching.
Yeah, and I have another project. I have to be 6 months. I forgot that. I have to be this year 6 times in the Eastern Partnership countries. For a SME competitiveness project from the Euro Chambers of Commerce.
Okay, tell me, how do you do all that? Because seriously, I'm having a hard time following.
Why do you think I told you at the very beginning? I have a wonderful husband. Nothing happens alone, you need support. I support him when he needs me, and he supports me a lot when I need him.
This is amazing. So how do you support each other?
Yeah, I'm flying, for example, on Thursday to Austria, and I'm trying to let everything finish for him, like ironed, cooked, even the breakfast, the meals for my kid. But my husband said, "Do you think I cannot do that?" No, he travels a lot. We try to make a good schedule. We need a really good calendar because we have to really put everything where who is where, and what we're doing where. We do a lot of holidays as well. All his time, because in the holiday I don't have to be anywhere, I have to be in an office, so my office is with me. So I take this advantage that whenever he has time, then we just go to the south or to the north or to the beach. In Turkey is so beautiful, just to take a break, and then I work from there when I can, but we are then together. And this year is a bit more complicated because our son is going to school and we are even bounded on his school holiday. But unless otherwise, when there is school holiday, we are away.
Okay, so if now you go to one of those events and networking parties and somebody asks you, what do you do? How do you answer in 10 seconds?
I thought about this. At the very beginning, you have to say you are wife because, So I said, I'm the wife of this guy. We are not even saying nationality because my friends, for example, from the Polish embassy, they say just the embassy. It doesn't matter. But I couldn't say the European delegation, or I couldn't say Austrian embassy. So I said, I'm the wife of that guy there. And my husband is here, always. And then in the middle, I got a bit bored. I started having my projects, my clients here, maybe try to do some networking. And I was saying, yeah, this is my car, this is my company. Honestly, I found out that not a lot of people are interested in that because most of them are diplomats and the receptions we go. Then I went back to the phase of I'm wife. No, I don't know. No, I have been so long not in receptions because it was Christmas and so I don't know. It will be next.
So funny.
I'm teaching at the university. Now, because now I'm teaching here, so I can say, yeah, I'm teaching at the Ankara University. And soon soon I would like to teach in the most prestigious university in Ankara. So yeah, wow. That's more easy.
I just want Nomad Nation, I would like to make a clarification. I think that the events we're talking about are those events that are organized among diplomatic crowd, etc., which is very regular and very important to create relationships between countries. And I've been growing up also in diplomatic circles, and it's true that if you don't know that, maybe we wouldn't understand what you're mentioning, Asetila, but there is somehow a common tradition of spouses of diplomats to introduce themselves with the country that their husband is representing. So it's very interesting what you said when you said, I couldn't even say Austria because I'm from Albania, but my husband is Austrian. So it was very interesting the way you presented, and thank you for being so open about it.
It's true. I mean, if I'd say I'm from Albania, are you from the Albanian embassy? No. Are you from Austria? Are you from Austrian embassy? Because I know. So it's like, I'm the wife. It's more honest, Yeah. It takes time because I was not prepared of this. You go there and where are you from? And I'm Tila, I don't have to show to my job, but this is the etiquette. So
amazing. Now, if you go to events that are not related to your husband's job, how do you present yourself in 10 seconds?
I am Asetila Köstinger, and this is my husband.
So you go with your husband also to professional events?
Yeah, I try.
Oh, okay.
Elevator pitch. Yeah, I try to tell. Depends who. First, I ask, who they are, and if I see that there is some potential cooperation, then I always say that I am from Austria. I'm Austrian company. My visit card is very, very easy and very simple. It says, tell what do I have. I produce a business card. Mm-hmm. And in the back, I have even a place where people should write where I am from. I even let it clearly that I'm the girl from Albania. But I always try to remember to say something about Albania because I remember people don't remember names a lot of times. Mm-hmm. But if you tell the country, then they'll always remember the Austrian from Albania or something like that.
Very smart.
Yes. I mean, nobody will remember my name. It's so difficult. But if I tell these two, I'm pretty sure I recognize that next time they remember me, the one from Albania and Austria.
Asetila, this is really important what you said now, because I'm going to soon prepare an episode to help expat partners build their pitch and present themselves, what we call the elevator pitch. And there's two important things you said here just in a few seconds that I would like us to focus on. The fact that you said, well, it depends on who I'm talking to. And that's really the first thing that when we present ourselves, we should know, especially if we have a business, is who are we talking to say the right thing right away in a few seconds. And then the second thing is that you said is making sure that they remember you. And as they're not used to your name, you make sure that they remember how different you are with one element. And in your case, is coming from Albania. And this is really smart. We briefly talked before the interview, and I loved when you explained me how you got to start introducing, for example, international development in your service. And you just accept that sometimes you have to work hard to learn and to get your clients and in order to be able one day to charge for your services. So could you take us through how did it go in your head when you arrived in Turkey and started saying, okay, now I'm going to work and do whatever I can to learn about international development? How did you do that?
Do you want the honest story?
I want the honest story.
It was I always thought I would find a job in Turkey. I was never depressed or angry or scared, nervous that I will not find anything. The only thing was what I will find. I even had plans. I searched for jobs. I didn't find a lot in the job platforms. And then I said, okay, it's not, this country doesn't, I was thinking, what does this country need from what I can? And it was not a lot, honestly, at the beginning, because I didn't speak the language. But one day, before I met these friends from kindergarten, it was one of this beginning of the 4 months, I met some other ladies. And from one lady I knew, she brought me to another bunch. She didn't know them too. And we had a very nice round of tea and coffee. And after most of them left, one of them said, okay, see you tomorrow. They knew them, most probably. And the other one said, yeah, but no, I can't do tomorrow because I'm busy. And the other one said, what are you busy? What are you doing? I'm washing my car and I have to do my nails. And I was like, oh my, how long have you been here? And she was like, 4.5 years. I was like, I came home and I told my husband, oh my God, in 4 years, there's nothing to do for me here. I cannot find a job. Unless you're an English teacher, you can teach, or French teacher, you can find a job everywhere. But unless than that, you'll never find a job. So I'll be 4 years washing my car and doing my nails. And my husband said, no, you not. So I started searching and trying to find out what is it necessary here, and this, I think it should go through everybody's mind. If your expertise or your experience is not really needed in this new country, then try to improve yourself or get better, follow a course or a webinar or do self-study or, I don't know, tailor-made your offering to the new conditions. Be a chameleon. And that's what I did, actually. So it was not that I could come here now with a big crystal ball and advise Turkish companies on, even if I didn't speak the country language, I didn't know the country or business environment here. So I'll do something new. So what is good that I always needed to do and I always wanted to do, and I saw it different. I saw this development field because I always wanted to do this, and I really was always in the private economy. And then I took this offering from, I searched the companies who are doing this, and I called, I called the first one, and the first one took me. And it was never a matter of money. I just wanted to this was like an internship, which I totally loved, and I learned so much. There were things I knew. It was nothing totally new for me, but they were like these practical missing puzzles, what I had. So by being there every day, I found a lot of puzzles where they belong to. And it completed my whole framework on this. And I really liked it. The other thing is I couldn't take a contract, like a full-time contract, employment contract, because the kindergarten. Because we were traveling so much. So there were a lot of things. It's not that I was misused. I liked it. It was a both sides agreement. I totally learned. If I would have paid for this knowledge, I would have paid a couple of €1,000s. Yep.
Very good point. That's where I wanted to go.
Over 5, because this is a very high, very specific expertise. So first of all, second, I was following. I would like to work, but I would like to follow my husband too, with traveling with him and going up and down because he had us. So going back to Austria and having guests here, and when you're an expat, you have a lot of guests. So if you are working to a 9 to 6 job and you are the expat partner and you have everybody visiting and then everybody showing the museum and this and that and having a sick kid and your husband traveling at the beginning, it's not very fair even to the because you cannot do it. It's not working really that you can have a 9 to 6 job. So
yeah,
for me it's really worth it every second, and we are still friends. I mean, I like this person where we work.
Asetila, my motto is, how do we turn the challenges of relocation into great opportunities? And I think that one of the great things that you did here to do that is that you took the time to learn and not wonder, oh my God, how am I going to work? How am I going to earn money? But more focus on what are you going to gain from your experience in Ankara. And you gained this experience by working with this company, and this is huge. You learned something that could have cost you like thousands if you had to pay for a training like this.
I think it's really this relationship I have with money, and sometimes people don't understand. How can you spend your day there for months and months? And I was like, but if you have to go to a course, you go there and you pay, a good course, whatever it is in these levels, it will cost you in Europe, anywhere in Europe, €2,500 for 3 or 4 days. And there were months of training. There was on-the-job training, and it was not any training. It was very
interesting. Yeah, you've been living in different countries out of your own country. You come from Albania and you lived in Austria, in Moldova, and now Turkey. So was there any moment where you felt like an important cultural gap or cultural misunderstanding?
Yes and no. I mean, in Austria, for example, the beginning was very difficult because in Austria, I was exactly the same. I followed my husband. I was like an expat, but he was from Austria. So the status, it was always about the status thing. So you are not an expat if your husband is from there, but you are a migrant, or I don't know, or what are you doing? And the pressure is much bigger there.
Oh, why do you think there's a pressure?
For me, the pressure was much bigger. I don't know. I didn't work in Austria for a year. And then I searched very desperately for almost a year. And then 1 year I had a lot of this job offering. And then I started to study as well at the same time. I don't know. It worked very fine for me. But it worked much better when our son was born. Since he was born, then I was not anymore his wife in the small town where we live. But I was Tila and Felix's mama and... And now, you know what's now? He's my husband. He's Tila's husband.
Why do you think suddenly things changed? What made it switch?
Because I made my place in the town. People gave me a chance to know me, but before they didn't.
Interesting.
It's like the Austria is the shore, and I'm the ship that comes to the shore. The shore doesn't change so much. I mean, it's a totally different. The ships have to go up and down with the tide, but the shore not. The shore has been there for thousands of years, and they'll be there for thousands of years. So either you become flexible and which I was, but and I totally love it now. I mean,
you're great. I love the way you see things, and no wonder that you're also making a PhD in philosophy. It must help you, I guess, to see life in a positive way.
It should have. Yeah, I mean, there is no other choice. If you be negative, you close yourself and you're depressive or what?
Actually, why are you doing this PhD? I mean, it's not like you're missing things to do. You have enough. I mean, you're busy. You have a business. You have family. You have teaching classes. Why are you going through this additionally to that?
Because I love school. I love teaching and I love being taught. I don't know. And then I have this urge of reading all the books, and I'm so scared that I will not be able to read all the books. And when I'm at school, then I'm forced to read.
So what is the one thing that you think living abroad in different countries has taught you as a person?
Be positive, like you say. Be open to new cultures. Let yourself be surprised. Let the country surprise you. For example, as we moved to Turkey, I mean, as I told you, I was Albanian. I moved to Austria, then to Moldova, then back to Austria, and then we had to go to Turkey. And then at that time, I had my friends, my Austrian friends in our town, a lot of them. And as we decided to move and we told them, many of their friends, I was like, are we nuts? Are you nuts? You cannot leave this beautiful Austria. It is the best. It won all the prizes, the best country to live in the world. You're going to Turkey? For how much money can you even had to answer questions like that for how much money would you change? No, it's not about the money. Most of the people don't understand that it's not really about the money, or it's not only about the money. It's actually for the ride, for me as well, and for my husband too. It's a hell of a ride. Mm. Sometimes it's up and sometimes it's upper, but it's so colorful. That's right.
You're amazing. You wouldn't even say sometimes it's down, sometimes it's up. You would say sometimes it's up and sometimes it's upper. I love it.
Our son, for example, our son he has this ability now, or he is now transcultural, like you are. It's something you can never pay. I mean, where can you pay that to have a child really like that, so international like he is? He had to grow up in Austria, and in Austria, I'm pretty sure he had to explain always himself that his mom is from another country. Now, most of his friends he has here in Ankara, they have parents of mixed nationalities. It's just, I don't know, 2 of them, they have same nationality parents, but the rest they have. So having different nationality parents is just normal, first of all. Mm-hmm. Second, he speaks 3 languages. He's learning a 4th one, totally natural. We didn't even force him onto it. And he's 6.5, because, this half is a big deal. So, he's this thing you can never pay.
Yeah. You're so right.
Ankara, then Turkey. Turkey is a beautiful country. I really loved the decision came to come to Turkey. I was so happy because it's so rich culturally, culinary. It's so close to the mentality I grew up in. Yeah, okay, I was very, very too positive about Turkey at the beginning, actually about Ankara. But the only thing was I got so happy to move to Ankara, and I was having in mind Istanbul. Ankara was not Istanbul, but
quite different.
Still, it's a very, very, very nice way.
It's all about expectations also sometimes. We imagine things in a certain way and then we get disappointed, but sometimes it's easier to just let ourselves, like you said before, be surprised and not necessarily have too many expectations so that you can take every moment as it is instead of comparing to what you could have, expected. I didn't mention too much your experience in Moldova. How was that?
Moldova was, I think my husband should tell you about that more. It was exciting. It was my very first one. I mean, the culture differences there were very, very big because it was my first real experience jumping cold water, let's say. And we were living in a very small town in the south of Moldova, where the town itself was very multiculti because they were speaking, it's a Moldovan territory, they were speaking Russian or Ukrainian and Turkish. It was a part of Gagauzia. So very little people really spoke Moldovan or really or spoke Romanian or Moldovan. Mm-hmm. So I had to learn Russian. I learned pretty good Russian.
I think you have to explain your background, Asetila, because I think that depending on our upbringing, we take certain challenges differently. And I think that your strength and your great personality comes also from how you were raised and, your own childhood. Could you talk about that?
Oh, think of North Korea now. We didn't have atom threats, though. It was totally isolated from everybody, from everything, from...
You're talking about Albania now, right?
Yes, we were very poor, very, very, very poor. Because my father was a doctor and my mom was a teacher. We had and my grandfather worked. With the pension, we had more income. But it's not that you could buy a lot of things with this income you had. We had much more income than maybe a family with 4 children with 2 incomes. But everything was restricted. You learn to appreciate everything. Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry that my son has so much toys and so much. We had to give toys to each other and even clothes. And I am still of this generation that I remember that my brother was complaining because he would get all my old clothes. And our aunt was a tailor. She could make our new clothes. But it was like that. So you appreciate. Mm-hmm. You appreciate. It's not that I don't fall for consumerism. Of course, I buy a lot of crap because it is around. I have to buy it. But still, you appreciate more the sad moments, the bad moments, and you are more thankful for what you have. Being with my husband here and with my son, it's a blessing. We are together. We are all healthy. We have a beautiful apartment. We have a beautiful friends. We can meet and they can come to our time every time. You can be somewhere where you cannot go out. I mean, still, Ankara. I mean, I have, I went to the university here in Ankara, and there are a lot of students from countries where just walking in the streets is not really it's not really possible because you can be blown out every time. So you have to be thankful for the good moments and for what you have, and then everything is okay. Be positive and
thank you, Asetila. This is so important what you're saying, and I don't know how many times I try to remind myself every day the importance of gratefulness, being grateful for everything we have in our life. And I'm very happy that you remind us of that. One more question before we go through the spinning round. What would be your biggest advice, if it's not being grateful, to other expat partners to enjoy their ride and do the best to actually reach stability and build their own success?
Yeah. Can I say one more than one?
Please, go ahead.
No, while being expat spouse, I found out it's not that I have the formula, but I think keep searching for what you want. What do you want? Some I know a lot of ladies, they don't want to work but they want to have something. So keep searching for what you want and believe it. And don't be judgmental. Mm-hmm. So don't be judgmental because they don't take you from the job. They don't hire you. Don't be judgmental for the other culture. Don't be judgmental for anything. Stereotypes should not be part of the daily life of an expat, I guess. The more, actually, you say the more you travel, the less you be affected from stereotypes, and especially expats. I mean, they hang their life on other countries. So I see a lot of people making stereotypes and generalizing, and if you keep stereotyping for everything everywhere you go, then I think you're wrong for this job. Second thing is money is not everything. There is the quote I said before, but the man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. That's a good expression. My own saying is, sometimes you just do things you don't get paid for, and soon you'll be paid for things you don't do. And another very important thing I try is take one thing, at least one thing from the country where you've been. I mean, these countries are rich on so many things. Turkey is such a beautiful country. Take one thing. Could be a language. I want to learn Turkish till the end. I have started my course, but till I go back home, I want to take Turkish with me. I mean, if you every 4 years where you change, you learn a new language. Wow, how beautiful is that? If it's not a language, it could be an instrument. It could be belly dance or a cooking or tradition. But style, and hang with a lot of international friends. Don't hang with friends with your own nationality or culture. It will richen your life. I learned so many different foods and so many different things, how they do things. I never thought of not just the local culture, but as well other people from other nationalities.
So true. So true. You have thrown away so many important advice here. Everything you've been saying here is like so fundamental to be able to enjoy our lives as expat partners and as human beings in general, not just as expats. So thank you so much. So we're going to go through the spinning round before we say goodbye. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay, great. So what are your plans for the 2 coming years?
Yeah, I'll keep following my contracts. I would like to, in 2 years, to get to teach in one of these prestigious universities I told you. So in Meto or Bilken. I know it's very, 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 very difficult, but it's not impossible. I believe on it and I believe on me, so I will do it.
You will. I don't doubt a second.
Apart from that, I will keep doing my projects. I'm pretty sure that more I do, more I will get, so I don't mind on that. I'm not looking for a 9 to 6 job, but I am really, really very busy. So,
and I know that you read a lot. So, is there a book you would recommend to tandem nomads and expat partners who have our lifestyle?
A book that I even teach that it's Culture and Organizations, Software of the Mind, beautiful. From Gert Hofstede. Is a researcher and professor he's Dutch. And he did this for IBM, for the computer company in the 70s, I think. This is the first thing where you teach international business, saying that you do business with other countries. First of all, you have to learn your differences,
Can you summarize your services?
I am an SME trainer and consultant and project manager. Yeah, and apart that, I teach for very, very happily for youth how to go on with your finances, how to manage your money, how to grow your company. But this I do as my, in this part of not being paid, because I think I have a power to influence people, and I want to use it as long as I can talk and as long as I can breathe. Youth people, and especially. Yeah, I try to do as much as I can in Albania.
Asetila, you have shown us today that you do have this power to empower. Tell us, if Nomad Nation wants to reach you or find out more about you, what's the best way to find you?
Köstinger-consulting.com is my website. And Asetila@Köstinger-consulting.com is my email address from the company. So,
Nomad Nation, you will find all the information about Asetila on the show notes page of this episode. Don't hesitate to go there and to comment and reach out to us if you have any questions. Asetila, again, thank you so much for sharing the amazing energy that you have and all these very important messages.
Thank you. Thanks to you. Thank you, Nomad Nation. And if you need anything, I'm there.
Nomad Nation, if you enjoyed this episode, I would really appreciate it if you could leave me your review and your comment. You can do it through iTunes or on the website of Tandem Nomads below the show note page of this episode.